Hey everybody, I'm mini coaching for the soul today because Spirit is sick and tired of being sick and tired. All I can say. For now, that's all I can say. But I'm going to start out because I don't know who's going to get this because I just announced it probably an hour ago. So, this morning, Spirit guided me to share what I do when I'm stuck, okay? And I've always been a person about straight talk, all right? And what that means is this. Hey, Pat. What that means is this. Hey, Nancy. When I am in my hole, right? We all get in the hole. I have to be so tired of being sick and tired, right? That I have to be brutally honest with myself. What does that mean? Hey, Kathy. I have to, and again, I normally do it in the shower, right? Because that's where I do all my talking, and that's where everything kind of happens. Being brutally honest with myself about pulling my butt out of the hole I'm in. We all get in the holes, all right? And what does that mean? It means being in a place in your head, either for a full moon or for a transit, right? Conjunction, some of those going on up here that we're deeply connected to. And if you don't have your birth chart, you wouldn't be able to tell. But if you have your birth chart, you'd be able to tell. I'm brutally honest with myself. Brutally honest, okay? And I swear a lot because I swear a lot anyway when I'm by myself. Chimes. Understanding, hey Steve, understanding we all have baggage, okay? We all have baggage. I've done 13 years of therapy back in the early 2000s, all right? I was pretty jacked up, right? And so I know how to get myself prepared for what's going on, able to pull myself out. Not all the time. I'm in a place right now where it's like WTF, I don't get it, right? Full moon last weekend. I kind of get it, but my ego doesn't get it, right? So I'm kind of in that place. That's why Spirit is having me make this today, all right? Okay. Spirituality is not going to cure you or eliminate all of the junk we have in our bodies from our childhood. Not going to happen. Not going to happen, okay? If you think your spiritual self is going to be able to fight your ego and all this stuff that you have down in your body, it's never going to happen. Plain and simple. It's not going to. It's not made for that. Right? It's not able to go so deep inside of your guts for it to be eliminated. Therapists are trained. People like myself are not. We can give you what Spirit says, but what does it really do? It pulls this much out of you. That much. Okay? Therapy brings this much out of you, but it's work. I went to therapy every Wednesday at 2 o'clock for almost 13 years. Every single week. Every week. Because I was in such a place where I didn't know what was up and what was down. Still had to work all the time, still had to do my thing, still had to do everything. But my tenacity was, I'm getting rid of this crap. I'm getting rid of it, right? I was blessed with an amazing therapist who was brought to me by Spirit because they knew I had steamer trunks full of baggage that I needed to get rid of before I started this type of ascension. Everyone else is the same, guys. Everyone else is the same. That's why therapy is so important. You get validation from a human. You're not going to get validation from them. You're not. Not the type that you need. That's a 3D human being who tells you why this happened to you, that happened to you, this happened to you, that happened to you. So journey, yes. But now's our time to digest it, to understand that me, myself, and I cannot fix myself. Cannot fix myself. They can't even fix myself. I knew I needed to go to therapy to get my stuff going and release all of the anger and the sadness and everything out of my guts, because it was down. That's where, as human beings, that's where our third dimensional self hides it. In every freaking nook and cranny, from our upper chest down to our guts. We'll put it every little place it can because it's survival mode. It's ego. We can't not completely eliminate it. But a therapist can give you reasons why you have it. A therapist who is into emotion, which they should be, most of it is emotional baggage, can tell you why you carry it, why you carried it, why you got it, because of the way that you felt as a child. Plain and simple. And I've talked about this in Coach for the Soul a number of times, right? But it's in the course of the hour. That's why I'm doing this video by itself. Because as we go forward, more and more people do not understand how come they can't get rid of this. Because we can't do it for ourselves. We need a trained professional to tell our inner child, okay, why it happened and why we have to forgive them. Okay? Understanding that you may not even know what's inside of you. I didn't know. I had no idea all of the events in my childhood that were stuffed inside my body. Absolutely. It's really crazy. Also, when I got done with my hours with the therapy, I felt emotionally released. Because it holds us all back. It holds us from ascending. It holds us from thinking straight. It's right now people in so much ego because their body's being pressured, right? Your guides are saying, okay, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. But we have to do our part, everybody, okay? They're not going to strip us of our baggage. They're not. They can't. That's not their job. Their job is to go to therapy, and you going to therapy, facing that fear, facing what happened to you as a kid. Some past life stuff will be there too, because you just duplicate it. But understanding all of it is the point. When you release that by talking for an hour, I remember my therapist would say, so Bill, how you feeling today? I'm good, because I would have my day off from work, right? Feeling good. Well, let me talk to Billy. I'm like, what do you talk to Billy for? My inner child, right? I just want to talk to him. And he would switch on like that. Boom, just like that. Because that little boy inside was in pain. That gay little boy inside was in pain. Right? We all have something like that inside of our bodies. And my little kid, my little Billy would say, blah, 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 blah. My therapist would say, Bill, did you know about he was feeling that way? I'm like, nope. Because it was all pushed down. It was all under lock and key. But my therapist many times, when I walked in the door, said, hey, Bill, what's going on? Nothing really. I'd sit down on the couch. He'd say, so what's up with little Billy? I'm like, I don't know. Let me talk to him. I'm like, what? What? Again, the aversion, right? What for? Because when my inner child was in charge, driving the bus, let's say, I was an angry MF. I was ready to rip down the world. So I had to keep him under wraps, as everybody does. Everybody does. If you don't, you can't keep a job. You can't get a job. Your family tosses you out. Because what's wrong with you? You're not understanding in 3D that your little kid inside is screaming for somebody to acknowledge it. Your little kid inside is screaming for somebody to pay me attention because I feel like I'm going to die. Ego. But it's true. That little kid inside of you, everybody, kept you alive when you were a child. Kept you company when you were a child. Kept you feeling safe when you were a child. When you were yelled at, you were spanked, You were sent to your room. You were all kinds of more horrible things, right? Your inner child was there. Little Billy was there all the times I was in the hospital. Little Billy was there all the times when this happened, all the times when this happened, right? Bullying and things like that which went on back in the 60s and 70s. It'll still today. But all of those things that happened to us, that little kid, ego, is there every single time, keeping us as balanced as they could so that we didn't get in trouble. Didn't get in trouble again. All the emotional stuff that we kept down inside of us, right? Because if we acknowledged it, my parents would be like, oh my gosh, he is the whiniest. He cries all the time. We don't understand why. He cries, oh my God, Bill, you are my emotional child. Because I was in pain. But they didn't recognize that. I was clairvoyant. I was empathic. I could feel everybody's energy, which wasn't good. I was a gay little boy with a Kate Jackson wig and a girl's bike. But I did have parents who accepted that part of myself, right? But they didn't recognize it. We all have that. We all have baggage from our childhood, and they're not able to take that away. They're not. They're there to, Spirit calls them black dots. They're able to take more and more black dots out of you when you do guided meditations. Okay? They're able to take energy off your body and out the inside of your body that you've gathered in everyday life. That's why you need to meditate. But there's no way possible that they are going to understand how to do what a human needs to do. Because we're kind of dumb. Psychologically dumb. Emotionally dumb, I should say. That's why we need a human being to talk to who went to school to relay back to you why you feel like that. That's what they're all about. Helping you understand when you're in this safe, vulnerable place, why you feel like that. And you express why you feel like that. And you cry because you feel like that. And most of it is because you don't feel safe. You don't feel recognized. You don't feel seen. They want you to be small. Those are all the things that our parents did to us because their parents did it to them. Our parents did the best they could with what they knew because they didn't know anything. Parents nowadays do. Don't spank your kids. Don't yell at your kids. It's your frustration. It's not theirs. Spanking your kids, it's your frustration, not theirs. I'm showing them. No, you're not. You're damaging you're damaging them 100%. And then remember, every time that you spank them, or if you hit them in the face, God forbid, or you pulled them by an arm, or you pulled them by their whatever. I've seen people actually pull their children up by their neck. Like that. Can you imagine what that child's going through? And they're going to have to relive it until they finally get to therapy in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. So I'm making this video because of that. All right? If you've got uptight, all right, steamer trunks full of baggage, and we all do, don't let anybody tell you that you don't, because they're lying to you. And mostly we lie to ourselves. Have you noticed sometimes I'm going off all the time I've been talking? That's all who's here. Everybody's here. Because they want us to understand, for us to go into ascension in 4th, 5th, 6th, and higher, we have to lose our third dimensional baggage. We have to. And the thing is, they're going to make your life hard. I have people who I talk to, Bill, I thought you said February was going to be fantastic. Well, it is supposed to be fantastic. Well, it's not for me. When's the last time you went to a therapist? Have you been to a therapist before? No. Guess what? And I'll click off things, right? Click, 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 click. Yeah. Put your big boy and big girl pants on. You're grown. You're grown. No one's going to save you. No one. And if they do save you, run. because they're not supposed to save you. You have to do your own work. Got to dig down deep. You got to let that shit go. Because if you don't, your life will be stopped, staggered, in frustration, not wondering why. Well, because you're not letting all that energy out from your body that's from this lifetime and maybe a little bit of last lifetime. Nobody's childhood was great. Nobody's was great. Nobody's was perfect. So if people say to you, it wasn't that bad, oh, maybe not to you, because maybe they're not ready to go through their baggage. Okay, their psychological stuff, their emotional stuff. But for us light workers who are being called into service, the one thing we have to do, trust me, is get into therapy and go through your stuff. I would give you my therapist's name, but he's not practicing anymore. But he is an amazing man. An amazing man. And him and I were two peas in a pod, them. Spirit, bring me the right therapist. I didn't know to say that back then, but it happened. Because they knew what I needed to do this for a living. And I left my job 10 years ago this July. Right? So it's not something that happens overnight. I started therapy in 2000. Boom, 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 boom. And my father would say, William, what do you need to go to therapy for every week? And I told him why. And he went, oh. So that's why I'm doing this, is to get everyone to understand that the only way you're going to be unfrustrated is get yourself into a therapist. See them as often as you can. Okay? As often as you can. Because the more that you work on yourself with that therapist, and I'm telling you, ego will make you say, I don't like that person. They're not listening to me. They have their own agenda. They're supposed to have the agenda because they have the boundaries. Follow what they freaking say. You'd be surprised how ego fights back at that. Trust me, been there, done that. Been there, done that. My ego pushed back every chance it got. Every chance it got. And he knew how to take care of it. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. He knew the things because he went to school for it. Digs down deep. As deep as he's got to go. Because he knows by my energy how much more work I had to do. Going to a healer's not going to work. It's not going to take it's going to take you forever to get through the stuff you've got inside of you. Because the healer can't pull it out. It can't. All something like Brenda does is clean up what you've had for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. As you go further and further into life right now. Life right now. Not back. Okay? Same with Reiki. Understand, guys, we have to do the work. And if you're not going to do the work, you're not going to get any release. You're going to get any positive things. Or maybe you get one positive thing a week. Is that enough to sustain you? Of course it's not. When we watch videos like My Coaching for the Soul and things like that, understand that is for the collective consciousness, right? For all of us, if we're connected and have done the work. Most of you are connected, but have you done the work on yourself? Because you're going to get to the point where your ego is going to overcome everything. And you're going to go, where the hell did that come from, Bill? I thought it was, no. No. Get yourself into therapy if you are in this place of truly WTF. I mean, where you have really hard things to solve. I was one of those people. I'm a Capricorn. Trust me. I'm as complex as you can possibly imagine. There's all kinds of nooks and crannies in my head and in my body that I save things in, especially in this lifetime. They sent me to therapy. So I went because I couldn't stop crying every friggin' day. as an adult. At some point in time in the day, could be if I was working all day, I did it at night. And took it up, oh, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. Dude, no. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. So I'm making this video for everybody who needs to go to therapy. All right? If you want ascension, if you want to get into yourself, if you want to allow them to lead you, it's not just ego. It's not. It's not just ego. It is understanding that you got to go deeper. And I don't want anybody to think I can't afford it. Find a way to afford it. Please find a way to afford it. Find a way. If you don't have, let's just say, if you don't have Starbucks for a week or 2 weeks, right? And you can supplement that with the Starbucks, with your Starbucks money or whatever it might be. One dinner out a month. Maybe two. Don't do 2 dinners out a month. Take that money and reallocate it towards therapy. Because you're going to absolutely love yourself as you get into who you are and why you are like this and why you are who you are, which is beautiful inside in 3rd dimension. But they can't change your life for you. You have to do the work. And I know many, many people who are at that junction where, okay, they don't have any focus, no focus at all, because they're all internalized with, what do I do? What do I do? And someone needs to save me. No one's going to save you, ever. That's their plan. You have to go into your own stuff. And if you choose not to, guess what? The universe will bring you stupid relationship after stupid relationship after stupid relationship. Been there, done that. This is when I was younger, not as an adult. Yeah. Understand that. I answered somebody today who was on Facebook who I don't understand why I keep attracting the wrong men. Childhood, well, 20s, 30s, 40s. My heart was broken. I had all this stuff from my childhood, right? I was damaged. So I attracted the worst men possible. How many of you guys have done the same thing? Man or woman. Doesn't matter. Bill, why do I keep? Because you have not worked on your heart yet. You haven't worked on yourself yet. You have to work on yourself. And doing guided meditations are great. Doing other things in the spiritual realm are great. But you got to go to somebody and talk to them about, why am I like this? Because they're going to recognize it. They're not. They're waiting you to go to a human to get that stuff out of your body, to have those conversations and heal your heart. Because if you have a heart that's not healed, you are going to attract the worst of the worst to make you go WTF. That's how they do it. Now's the time. Now's the time. They need you. Make the sacrifice. Make the sacrifice. Get into therapy. And I'm going to say this. Don't expect a person like myself to be able to pull everything out of you from your childhood. I can do this much, but I can't do this much. Right? And if you want me to, that's fine, but it's going to take so much time. Unless you got a boatload of money. I'll talk to you every day if you want me to. But it's a lot. See? It's a lot. And when you're able to do that, I'm telling you, when you come out of doing some therapy, you're going to be so happy to go right back. But ego, honestly, every therapist that I've ever talked to who's a friend says, yeah, people will go for like 90 days, maybe 120 days, maybe 5-6 months. Then they think they're fixed. I'm good. Until the boatload of BS comes down from your belly up into your heart. What is it? I thought it was all gone. No, it's not all gone. It's going to take months to get rid of a lifetime of stuff. Said this to somebody yesterday. It's not going to take you a year. You're freaking 58 years old. You got this over 58 years. Not going to take a year. Bill, I don't want to be in it forever. You won't be. You'll enjoy going. Trust me, you'll enjoy going because the energy in your body rises. Your ego shuts the F up. Trust me. You won't think in your head anymore because ego doesn't have anything to work with anymore because all your experiences in this lifetime are gone. You've forgiven the people that hurt you. You've forgiven your mom and your dad. You've forgiven your grandmothers and grandfathers or your brothers and your sisters or whoever, teachers in school. Got to get out of the victim mode. Straight talk. Straight freaking talk. Mine is, Bill, what the fuck are you doing? What are we doing? Come on, get your freaking, you know what? Your head out of your you know what? Take control of this freaking thing. You're freaking grown. What are you freaking allowing past life stuff, I won't say the word, to interfere with your energy, to interfere with what you're supposed to be doing, to interfere with your goals, to interfere with your moving forward. You're wasting time, Bill. There's a couple of MFs in there and a couple of GDs in there and a couple of SHITs in there and MFs, right? I mean, yeah. That's the way that I have to talk to myself, okay? That's how I do it. When people say be kind to yourself, that's fine. But the way that I'm kind to myself and get myself out of that hole is by kicking my butt. What the are you thinking about? Come on. Why are you going through days not paying attention? What are you freaking doing? Straight talk. Did that in all my retail jobs, and everybody was like, dang, that's what I needed to hear. Of course it is. Get your freaking you-know-what out of your you-know-what. Get the freaking blinders off. No one's going to save you. No one is ever going to save you. Never, ever, ever. Like Spirit says, if they do, run. Freaking run. Because they're going to keep you back and add more BS on top of your BS. But you have to be the one who gets yourself out of the rut and makes that appointment for therapy. Gets that apartment that you need to have because you're still living with mommy or daddy or both. Right? Doesn't matter. But you can't go through every day with no focus. You can't. And so many people now are doing that because we're in between worlds. And it's frustrating and scary and kind of weird. We all get it. But we still have to go, okay, my third dimensional self, because we're still in 3D, needs help. Needs help. I can't do it myself. Of course you can't. You're one human. So go for the help for people who can help you deliver it out of you, let's say. I was going to say something else, but I'll use that term. Just like when people ask me about doctors. Okay? Bill, doctor said, okay, we'll take the medicine. Well, I'm not really sure about this, that, and the other thing. Well, okay, well, have you taken it before? Well, yeah. Did anything happen to you before? No. Why now? Because I'm just worried. No, ego's worried. Ego does not want you to take the depression medicine. Because you'll feel better, more focused, more balanced. It's not you, it's ego. And some people's ego is in fight or flight or survival so deeply that they don't think they can get out of it. Ego is so deeply entwined in them because they are the victim. Used to be powerful, they thought, when they're in their 20s and 30s. And then somehow they pushed everything away, their spirituality, their religion, life in general, right? And now they're being called into service and they don't know why they're not the same person they was in their 30s. No. You got layers upon layers upon layers of stuff that happened to you between 32 and 52. So you're not going to have the same connection, thank God. Because you had the same connection, it'd be 1974. 1984, 1994, whatever. So understand that, everybody. Please understand that. Because I want everyone to ascend as quickly as they possibly can, because it is beautiful. It's amazing. But we're always going to have this third dimensional side, because we're all born in it, that we're never going to lose, guys. We're never going to lose that. Never. We might get 5 days of bliss, maybe 6 days of bliss, maybe 6.5 days of bliss, or 5.5 days of bliss, right? And we try to stay there, but if you don't do your work on your emotional baggage, the way you were treated, the way you were talked to, things like that, you're going to go into 5D for 4 or 5 hours, and you're going to slide down into third. And then you're going to maybe go into fourth for a minute, then you go back into 3, right back into third. And you'll never be able to stay up here, which we're not supposed to anyway, because we're still in a third dimensional world. But what I want for everybody is not to have this and then this and then this, and this high and then this, where you pound back into 3D. Because ego loves that stuff. It loves it. You know, you can't do that, right? Ego will say. You know, that's not, you're a loser. You know, you will never stay up there. You will never. You know what? Why don't you just stop this garbage and, get back to working. Get back to doing this. And since you don't really work too much, you're not really contributing like you should. So you should feel guilty about that. You should be guilty about trying to clear your stuff out of your body. You should be really guilty. Guilty. Only one that can make you feel guilty is you. That's ego. Again, I want everyone to understand we can't clear that out of you. I can clear a lot of things. It may take a while. Just by conversations, right? Coaching for the soul. But for deep down energy clearing, deep down stuff from your last 50 years, therapy. Make a way to make it happen. Because guess what you're going to do when you do that? And you're out there talking to people in a seminar. How many of you have been to therapy? People might raise their hand. Okay, well, I'm telling you what. And then you go into your information about, well, let me tell you about my journey. When I started this journey, guess what happened? I needed to go to therapy because blah, 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 blah. I got into therapy because of a man. Good relationship, I thought. Really deep love, I thought. In the year 2000, 1999. Yeah. Spirit brought me that beautiful man, extremely good looking man, to get me to, Phil, go to frickin' therapy. So then I caught him with somebody else. Kind of came home from work early one day. I left. Picked up all my stuff and left. Never saw him again. He tried and tried and tried. Nope. But what's the big deal? Nope, not me. I'm not that guy. But I was a different guy then too. Emotionally damaged to the point of just having the wrong energy and attracting the wrong men. And then I called this person. Got a name from somebody. Got his name from somebody. That's them. I don't want you guys to hit that trigger point where you feel like I just want to die. Because that's how I felt. I'm not successful at this. I don't understand about my love life. I don't understand about my human life. I don't understand. Why it's going to be so hard? I know lots of people who have had that conversation with themselves. And they get into therapy. Go, wow, I got steamer trunks full. Yeah. And so did our parents. So did our brothers and our sisters. That's why I'm making this video, having this conversation. Because the only way that we are as a collective are going to get to where we need to be, and you guys have heard me talk about this every Thursday at 3 o'clock for the past years. They need us to ascend. They need us to ascend and absolutely work on our third dimensional baggage BS junk. Because I bet you, I can sit down with a 5, 6, 7, 10 people and say, okay, so what's the worst thing that happened to you in your life? And everybody will have an answer. Guaranteed. What's the second worst thing that ever happened to you? Could be your mom dying, your dad dying, your granny dying, your grandpa dying. Could be brother dying. Again, it could be all kinds of different things. See? Those emotional things that we just kind of pack away and leave until they burst open and try to poison us. Okay? So please take that in love. Please take that and understand that you have to parent yourself. Take that and understand that if you got to be brutal with yourself, be brutal with yourself. Okay? Gotta be. Gotta be. It's like your best friend saying you're a dumb motherfucker. What the fuck are you thinking about when you did something stupid? I've had those conversations with my friends, and I've had them conversations because I told them that. What the fuck are you doing? You can't do that. Have that brutal conversation with yourself. Pull your head out. Please pull your head out. And get yourself in therapy as much as you possibly can. Okay? I know money doesn't grow on trees, and stuff's expensive. Okay? But you're worth it. Truly, you're worth it. There's a way to have anything that you want. Ask them for the money. Ask them for the therapist. But keep on them. Keep on them. You know? Because that's what it's about. That's how important you are. You're extremely important to the collective. You're extremely important to me. Right? And others. Because together we're going to change the freaking world. We've already started. But we need you to be front and center for all the people that have been coded to follow your butt. To find you, to help them save their lives, let's say. All those people who you're going to say, I went to therapy, I did this, I did this, I did this, and it saved my life. And that just made you feel better. Because as that stuff becomes rancid, as that stuff becomes toxic, not that you're going to hurt yourself, because you're not. Not going to happen. But it makes it easier for you to understand, and them that you're talking to. This is what I did, because you're the example. Truly are. And you're going to be for the rest of your freaking life, and you can't get out of it. You chose the journey, everybody. You signed that freaking contract. Even if it was just a freaking X. Who knows? And you didn't read it. And if you did read it, you said, that's not going to be that big of a deal. I can take care of it because this is who I'm going to be. Okay. You made the choice to be here now for a reason. To help everyone on the planet, in the United States, 330 million people, to understand that's why I'm feeling this way. And you are a great example for me. What it's about. Everybody here is a leader. Everybody here is going to be talking to folks and being on stage and doing their thing and however it comes out for you. But you can't avoid it. You can't. Spirit just went this. And we're not going to have you die because we need your butt. We need you. They need you. The United States needs you. The world needs you. Very important. Spirit just went, yeah, and they can't skirt out, on the left side. No, because they're going to follow you. But get through your stuff, everybody. Get through your stuff. Don't take it lightly. Because I would rather have you guys voluntarily do it than to be at the end of an exasperating situation and go, oh my gosh, I got to get in therapy. And that could be however long down the road. It's not going to get any easier, not going to get any lighter, trust me, everybody, until we lighten ourselves up by letting that baggage go, by working on ourselves and understanding that it's very, very important how we see ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, how we affect people's lives by being these wonderful, beautiful, bright light seed. I mean, just this beacon of white light that everybody's attracted to. Why? Because you have the story to tell them of how you are here now being this big burst of white light. Okay? So I'm going to post this on my Facebook page, or on my YouTube channel page, it'll be up there in about 10 minutes or so. If you would go over there and like it and whatever, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you Thursday at 3 o'clock for another Facebook Live, Coaching for the Soul. Yeah, I've got this, we have this agenda now, Spirit says, and so don't be surprised if I do this again tomorrow or whatever, but I know. We have to wrestle up the troops. We got to get people out of their fog. It's time for them to understand we got to go. We got to go. We got to get ready for the ascension, right? Don't want to be caught in that flood. All right, guys. I'll see you Thursday, 3 o'clock. Coaching for the Soul. See you.